I have a book with me. It's entitled The 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, as amended in 2018. Many of you calling for restructuring, have you read the Constitution? Tell yourself the truth. Can you say, oh, you must restructure. You must. How many of you have read the Constitution? Tell yourself the truth. If just leave your comment on my streaming. I have the Constitution here. And I discovered that most people mounting restructuring have not read the Constitution. They don't even know. They don't care. How do you want to restructure what you don't know? You don't make effort. I know some people have also read it. So now I make effort to have it in my car. Now the Constitution is now in my car. And I bought a copy for my car. So at different times, I'll just open any page and read. You want to restructure. You must have details. Know the Constitution. Don't always just rely on what you hear. Make your own research. Those who want to change the status quo must apply some new knowledge in changing it. So I advise you to go get a constitution that you want to change. What I have done is to get all Nigerian constitutions from 1953. I'm looking at them. So when I tell you we are coming. I'm looking at them. What happened? Because if you don't check the insecurity that is going on now, the boys in the East, when they pick up their guns, you can't stop them and they will break away, let me tell you. If this insecurity continues, that means the army will be overwhelmed and you see people will just break away and there's nothing you can do about it. That unity you are saying is not negotiable. Your army will not be able to keep the country united. Take note, that's what happened in Yugoslavia. Once the army collapses, once you overstretch your army and it collapses, a multi-ethnic state will break up. And Nigeria's unity has been shaky. It has been shaky. The boys who want Oodua state will break away. To your tent, O Israel. That's the point Yinka Odumaki was trying to make there. What are the options? There are many options. Now, look at this. It's about the future. I have talked about this report before. The National Human Rights Commission in 2018 revealed that there were more than 56,000 unclaimed children in the internally displaced persons camps, deprived of their rights to health, education, and comfort. There are also more than 25,000 women widowed by Boko Haram who suffer degrading and inhuman treatment and other forms of violence. Mahmoud Maman is a journalist covering the Lake Chad Basin. Mahmoud Maman also works for Radio in Darazan. We met at a conference on security recently, and I engaged him on a personal ground to give me details of what was going on. Anyway, in this part of an interview I had with him, we talked about unaccompanied children and the danger they offer to the future. Mahmoud Maman on State Affairs. Hello, Mahmoud, are you there?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, Tijani raised the point about women who were put in family ways by members of Boko Haram. And when they find their ways out of Boko Haram camps, they dump these children and return to their family. Can you tell me more about this?
Unaccompanied children or invincible children. They are children from different backgrounds. Because of the insurgency, there are a lot of attacks, and when there are attacks, these will be displaced. Somebody has 10 children, and 10 of them How can he take 10 of them at a time? He can't. Not just you can just pick the ones that he can. The mother picks ones and they just run away, and the remaining were left. So some of them, the parents were killed and the children remains. So these are one category of them. Two, we have people who were, for instance, the Chibok school girls and many adopted. They were taken to the Boko Haram and they were married off and gave birth to children. In a process when either sometimes they can escape on their own, sometimes they will be rescued by the security forces. With the recent development of the mass surrendering that we have been witnessing, of them have now surrendered and they have now left to the Nigerian government. I spoke to one of the Chibok, a mother of a Chibok school girl whose girl was still under captivity, asking how that there are some of them were released or came out with children. So what are the status of those children? She said their position is very clear. They are not going to accept any children. They are not going to accept any child because they send their daughters to school. And how can somebody who was in school writing WAEC will now coming out with a child? So they don't know, as far as they are concerned, know those children. Somebody abducted your daughter, kept your daughter for years, married her off forcefully, and now the daughter is coming out with children. They said there is no way. So many of the Chibok girls came out with children, and these children were rejected by their families. And that's not only applicable to the Chibok school girls and their parents, but also to almost everyone whose daughter was abducted. Once they were released, you see the family members will now receive their daughter and they reject those children. Then we have thousands of them. And as we are speaking to you now, the government has no any plan. These are not under the guidance of these children. We have never heard from the government about these children. There are some humanitarian organizations that specialize in taking care of this type of children. But the number is such a big that they cannot even handle. So they just take care of the ones they can. Thousands of them are still there. And apart from this is the second category. And the third category, there are women who were maybe arrested by the Nigerian military, or they escaped from the Boko Haram camp, and maybe on their way coming, they found themselves in military checkpoints. The military also contributed. They also gave those women who spend time under detention, under military detention. They are also coming out with these type of children. And some of these mothers cannot even identify one man and say, one of the soldiers and say, this is the father, because they cannot even know who is exactly the father. They are under detention and they come out with children.
Are you making the point that even the military takes advantage of these vulnerable women?
They do, exactly. That's what we are saying. And what I'm saying now is directly from some of the people we interviewed that they were victims. We have thousands of them. We can even link you to some of these women. They are under detention, under the military detention. And they were impregnated by the military, the soldiers, and they are coming out when they were released. When they are released, you can see them coming out with children, some of them. And these children are also part of these invincible children. So we have those who were left during attacks. We have those who were their mothers were abducted by Boko Haram and married off and coming out with children. We have those who the Nigerian military also impregnated their mothers, and they are also coming out with this type of children. And these children, nobody is taking care of them. Nobody is talking about them. And these people, when they grow up, their mothers need to answer. The community, the society must answer questions about these children's parents and their future. Because once they grow up, they need to answer who is their father. They need to know who is their father, who is responsible for their birth. And what do you imagine if this category of children were abandoned as it is now, and they grow up after 15 years, the next 15 years in Nigeria? What do you think is going to happen? And we have, apart from these children, I was also able to interview the Borno State humanitarian agency, the agency that is responsible for the coordination of humanitarian affairs. The director was telling me she's the director of the agency and also the advisor for the governor on humanitarian affairs. She was telling me that they have 50,000 registered orphans in Maiduguri. These are children who are orphaned by Boko Haram. Their parents killed by Boko Haram. They have registered 50,000 in their database. And this is not all the number. That's what she told me. This is not all the number of orphans that they have in Maiduguri. But these are the ones that they were able to capture the data. They have 50,000 orphans, children who were orphans by Boko Haram. So look at the number that we are talking, 50,000. We have thousands of the invisible children, and we have thousands of them who are not even, whose data is not even captured. So if you look at this number, it's a very big number, and there is a long way to go if we do not pay more attention on how to take care of this category of children.
State Affairs with Edmondo Bilo is live.
All right, you listened to that chat with Mahmoud Maman. He lives within the Lake Chad Basin. What do you think? The lines are open. 070-694-93000. And you can call 080-569-98678. If you want to get the numbers, just go on Splash FM. We are streaming. You have the numbers there. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Hello.
This morning, I just want to go through another direction. When we get this president was impeached, it's supposed to have been fixed like maybe about a year ago or 2 years ago. He went to the national court without any recourse to the National Assembly. But sent for Tukano. The Tukano that did not come up after a year. And now we send Tukanos, and Tukanos kept somewhere. Nobody is asking questions about them. What is the essence of spending money that you did not make represent at the National Assembly because of you were claiming that it was an urgent something? And now it came to keep it at one side. When you are talking of a kind of a connivance, a kind of a conspiracy theory, if we are to investigate all these things, even after Buhari, we give a kind of a conspiration will form a whole chapter of the book. This is a chapter. There's conspirations everywhere, in the ministry, in the presidency, everywhere. So we cannot just regret that issue of a conspiracy. Some of them might not have the authenticity of maybe a kind of a background to action as a collective. But we have many of them that say, what is the essence of it? It is the people who enter Ghana within 24 or 48 hours, they will not burn out. We have a political need. No one have this political need, that means there will come from connivance.
Hello. All right, the lines are open. Though that line was very faint, I had to let it go. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Edmond.
Good morning, Barrister Ijuruka.
How are you doing?
I'm fine.
I'm in class this morning.
Happy to hear you.
I didn't allow my friend Reverend to see me. I'm covering my face with a big note. Anytime he's looking my direction, I cover my face. Well, that's not what I intend to talk about earlier before, but because I brought it up, I want to speak on it. That's the issue of these children in the north. If we don't do anything about it, the north will suffer the heaviest casualties, but the south will also share from it. You see, if Nigeria is not restructured, the problem of the north will never be solved. Because they will keep relying on the south to pretend that they have a country. I made the point about 6 weeks ago. I think there is a surgical nurse, spiritual surgical nurse that cuts under the river Niger and river Benue to detach northern Nigeria from southern Nigeria. I said within a week or 2 weeks, the north will crumble under Taliban government. People have Taliban mentality. It will dissolve immediately. What is holding the north to make them appear that they are safe is southern Nigeria. Now, for the north problem to be solved, we have to restructure so that they don't share their problem with us, so that they don't have anybody to lie against. If they want to contest elections, they won't take vote for me because I'm a Muslim. Vote for me because I'm a northerner, because all the contestants will be northerners. If people say let's restructure, they don't have to know all the details. They don't have to. They knew how Nigeria was run in the First Republic. They knew there was nothing Tafawa Balewa could do to stop Awolowo from doing all the good things he did in the Western region. They knew there was nothing Ahmadu Bello could do to stop Zik or Para from doing all the good things they did in Eastern Nigeria. They knew that there is no way one Ahmadu would be posted from Sokoto to come and be commissioner of police in Delta State. They know all those things don't happen. And they know the reason why they are happening is because of the national concern. They know and they have heard that we send all the items in the exclusive legislative list. The government has no big business in education. I have said it over and over again. We don't need the Ministry of Education. What we need is a regional Ministry of Education. People understand this. Look at the discussion they are crying for. Edmond. Now, the North need an Ataturk. Remember Ataturk of Turkey, who came and destroyed the tradition that they hold on to. What it is they hold on to that is not allowing them to make progress. We need a radical northern leader who will do that. And I believe I can do it. I will never support Elrufai to be president of Nigeria, but I will support him to be the premier of northern Nigeria. Let me tell you, good morning.
Thank you, Barrister Ijuruka. You know, my talk of the Constitution is that you should endeavor to read it. That's the point I'm trying to make. That if you are so keen about some of the changes, just try and read the Constitution. I can see Jeff White Dove on Splash FMP says the military decree you referred to as Constitution is major part of today's problem. Yes, this is the Constitution many are saying should be thrown away and let's rewrite the Constitution. Some are saying they don't care about rewriting the Constitution. They just want their own country. Give them Biafra and they are fine. Give them Oduduwa Republic and they are fine. All right. Just be fine. Somehow be fine. Ademola Adigun says he's here. I'm here, sir, but all this thing that is happening, what is the comment of the Chief of Army Staff? Who is the Chief of Army Staff when the Commander-in-Chief is there? We don't want to hear from the Chief of Army Staff. There's a C, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. That is President Muhammadu Buhari. The Chief of Army Staff should go and report to him. You know, there's also a Chief of Defense Staff. That's the boss. General Irabo, that's the boss. You know, when I look at him sometimes marching into the presidential villa, I say, how far? What is dress up, looking cack up? How far? What is it? You see them marching. Security Council meeting. Buhari is there. Oshibaya, I say, how far? Huh? You know, Baba Gana Munguno says we are in trouble. There's wahala everywhere. But soon, there's this member of the National Assembly I think the people should listen to again. Her name is Linda. You know, Linda was so pained on the floor of the House of Representatives in April that she called Nigeria a failed state. But what she said on the floor of the House of Representatives, I'm talking about Linda Chuba Ikpeazu. Here, she talks about terrorist attack on Kanam and Wase in Plateau State. Let's go back to April 2022 on the floor of the House of Representatives.
Mr. Speaker, this actually, when I was listening to Yusuf, what was going through my mind was like, I don't think there's a week that'll pass that you don't find that terrorists have attacked one place or the other and lives lost. So it's actually become normal in Nigeria to actually hear this sort of thing. And the point is, what are we doing about it? The legislation, we make laws. That's our primary responsibility. And I don't think that the problem is lack of laws. Now the buck stops on the table of Mr. President, Mr. Speaker, because he's the head of the executive. And they execute. And the unfortunate thing, Mr. Speaker, is that our security personnel are really very well trained. So we're not lacking that. So I'm wondering, does it mean that they're not motivated? They're not very well equipped? That these terrorists have more equipment than them? So what is the problem? And we've had cases where we understand that information were passed to the security personnel, and still these terrorists overcome the ordinary Nigerian people. Mr. Speaker, this is a failed state. Nigeria right now is a failed state. What can we do? Nigeria is a failed state. You can get up and speak, it is a failed state. In a state where you cannot protect your citizens, it's a failed state, Mr. Speaker. And the prayers of Honorable Yusuf, unfortunately, it's only number 2 and number 5 prayers that I can actually see has semblance of being implemented. The second prayer talks about the humanitarian ministry doing something. Yes, I can understand the ministry coming to the aid of the people. Then the 5th prayer has to do with asking the police to have the mobile police people in that area. Those ones I can see happening. The other prayer we need to ask ourselves, in a week's time, you will hear something like this again. Because we have failed to address we have failed to address the problem. We have to remove all political coloration and face these people and understand that we're at war. When you're dealing with terrorists, you have to understand that you're at war. And all your rules must be the rules that you engage in war. But if we are relaxing and feeling that we're all Nigerians, Mr. Speaker, we're going to be coming every week on the floor to talk about this. Thank you very much.
State Affairs with Edmondo Bilo is live.
Splash FM 105.5.
láti mú káyọ̀ dẹrù faraàlú ti dé o. Yemson Enterprises ti gbàràdá ó yẹ gbà. níbẹ̀ lẹ́tí lè rójúlówó jẹnẹrétọ̀ amúnáwá bíi Helipack, Protean, Fireman àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. ọ̀kadà alùpùpù tó dúró rẹ̀ wà léṣẹ́ wa bíi Bajaj, Honda, TVS, Ajé Suzuki àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Electronics tún ti dé sílé iṣẹ́ Yemson.
Musper twins. They depend on givers for succor and struggle to get their shares.
Do you do this all the time?
No, not all the time.
Okay. And how do you feel? See them scrambling for...
I feel bad. My husband has a farm.
Okay.
He harvested this, and I just felt I should bring this to them. I feel sad each time I come. This is my route.
Okay.
Most times when I'm going in the morning, they sleep over there. They bathe there, they cook there. Yes. I have a pain in my heart since I've been here once or twice asking that, can I adopt one of them? The process is much. I just felt, well, this is what I can afford to bring to them. Part of my husband's farm's produce, and I brought it to them.
Has government acted responsibly enough to help solve their problem?
Not in any way. It's corruption all over. Not in any way. But the ones that people like us can bring clothes here for them, we just do it and
Madam, are we safe with this insurgency, with these people?
we are not in any way. We are not. All of these children, give them 1,000 naira, that's the maximum, they will do anything. We are not. And if I have my way, I want to pick one or two of them and adopt. If they will release them. So I've been here, I've spoken to they call the man one name, that I need just 2 girls. I'm a Christian, but that also is a constraint. They don't want to release them.
It's not. If we want to, we are Nigerians.
I've been here.
Yeah.
Not once, not twice. I want to adopt 2 of them, train them, bring back them here some years after. Perhaps by the time they see the difference, others will be able to follow suit.
You know, a lot of people wonder how Dubai became a very big, famous and rich city.
You see, if you're comparing with Nigeria, listen to this. Nigeria has oil before than Dubai. It's a history. They are more rich than us. They have agriculture, they have mining, they have everything, you name it, they have it. Am I right or wrong? When you have a true leadership, which we have nothing, but we have everything because we have the right leadership. That's the only thing you need, a right leader for your country, not corruption. That's what brings your country at the top. You don't need anything. We want water, we don't have agriculture, we don't have mining.
That's quite interesting.
And that's Sheikh Mohammed. Number 1, he doesn't know number 2, he needs only number 1. He says, I don't know, there's no number 2 in my book, only number 1.
I hear he doesn't ride in a convoy. Is that true?
Yeah. No, he doesn't because everybody loves him.
Yeah. We love our leaders too. Thank you. Thank you very much.